If you're struggling to find good cleaners, it's not because they don't exist. It's because your systems are letting the bad ones through. Once I fixed this, everything changed. Not just the quality of the cleaners I worked with, but how much I worked as the business owner and how much I made in take home income. Because the reality is, one great cleaner can make you thousands a month. One bad one can cost you clients, refunds, your sanity, and even your reputation with bad reviews. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 4-step system I use to filter for reliable, self-sufficient cleaning contractors without wasting your time. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Diem. I didn't start out building a freedom lifestyle business. I started with a traditional cleaning company, managing employees, dealing with all the day-to-day, and feeling pretty tied to it. Over time, I realized I wanted something different, so I shifted to a referral agency model and started working with independent cleaning professionals instead. That one decision completely changed the trajectory of my business and my life. Today, my business runs mostly in the background. It supports my real estate investment and it gives me space to live my life. And now I help others try to create that lifestyle freedom for themselves, no matter what the path. So before we get into the system, I want to show you why this matters so much. Not all cleaners that you recruit are equal. Some cleaners might only take a few jobs a month, and that's totally fine. The system still works and I don't have to manage them. But your strong recruits, the ones who consistently take jobs, can generate about $1,500 a week in revenue. If you're doing a 60-40 split like I do, that means that $900 goes to them and $600 goes to my referral agency. That's about $2,400 to your business a month from one cleaner. Now multiply that by 5 or 10 or 20 cleaners. This is why recruiting is one of the most important parts of your business, because if you recruit the wrong people, they will then need constant handholding. They ask questions that they should be able to figure out themselves. They create more work for you. If you recruit the right people, though, they solve their own problems. They show up constantly. The business runs with minimal involvement from you. First, we need to fix the goal, okay? Because most people think that they need more applicants. You don't. You need better ones. I've seen this over and over. Someone will post a job ad, they'll get 30 applicant leads. 15 of them will actually respond to your communication after that. 8 are actually qualified, and then maybe 4 will show up, if you're lucky, to the interview. That's not a recruiting win. That's a lot of admin work, and 30 sounds great, but I would rather have 4 applicants and all 4 are qualified, responsive, and serious. And that only happens if your system is built to filter. If you've experienced the 30 applicants and 4 show up situation, please like this video. That tells me that you want more practical breakdowns like this one. So I use the 4-phase system, which entails post jobs, screen leads, vet candidates, and interview and orientation. The goal is to filter at every stage, kind of like a trickling down effect, so that by the time someone reaches the interview, they're already highly qualified. This will evolve over time. When you're starting out, it's tempting to just appeal to everybody, and that's totally okay. I get it. But you'll quickly learn that better quality is better than more volume. So, phase 1, the job post. Before recruiting, your website should have a work with us or a job opportunities page. This serves 2 purposes. The job seeker can learn about your agency, but also cleaners can refer their friends to you really easily by just sending a link. That page should explain what it's like to work with your agency, the benefits of working with an agency as an independent cleaner, and how they can apply. Now, your job post should be concise and specific. It's not there to attract everyone. It's there to filter most people out. That's where people get it wrong. They write flexible schedule, great opportunity, all these benefits trying to appeal to everyone, but that attracts unqualified applicants, people who aren't serious, people who are just testing the waters and seeing what happens. Your job post should feel a little strict. For example, must have X years of experience, must have your own supplies and transportation, must be comfortable working independently, must be responsive with clients. What happens then? Casual applicants will scroll past. Qualified professionals, they'll lean in. Yes, the volume does go down. Good. Because volume is not the goal. Quality candidates are. So your job post should clearly state requirements, set expectations up front, explain the benefits of working with your agency, and then directing them exactly how to apply. Your submission form should stay simple. Just ask for their contact information and their qualifications. No need to overcomplicate it, especially on the front. Okay, now we move on to phase 2, which is screen leads. So once someone submits an inquiry form, it goes into your system, whether it's you or your VA in your inbox. Usually in my case, my VA handles it. So they'll review the qualifications on the application and determine whether the answers reflect adequate experience or not. Some people apply just because they're interested, but their answers immediately show that they're not actually qualified. So this is just a visual screening at first. What might that look like? The cleaner might say, I clean houses, I'm hardworking. And to me, that really doesn't tell me anything. It's like saying, I breathe oxygen and I exist. Of course you do in an application for cleaning, right? But if they write, I've been cleaning for 3 years, mostly recurring clients, I handle standard and deep cleans, it's a different level. If they don't demonstrate clear experience early, then no callbacks, no interviews, no, let's just see how they go further along in the process. Now, if they do qualify on paper, my VA will contact them. She will go over the expectations that have actually already been outlined in the job posting. She'll explain the referral agency model once again to make sure that that's understood clearly, and then cover the basic legal and tax expectations of what it is to work as an independent contractor, not a W-2 employee. During this call, clarity is critical from the beginning. Now, if they don't qualify, we'll send a rejection email. We'll still ask for referrals if they know of anyone else who's interested in cleaning with us. And we'll offer a referral incentive so that that lead with them is not wasted. What's been your biggest issue with recruiting? No-shows, quality, not enough applicants? Drop it in the comments. I read them and it helps guide future content. Okay, moving on to phase 3. If they qualify and are still interested, they get a part 2 of the application. So we send them another form that asks them for 3 personal references, 3 professional references, their work preference, and their interview availability. I break this into another step intentionally because a long application in the front end is pretty overwhelming. But after a conversation, they're more invested with our agency and they're going to be more thoughtful in their responses and what references they provide. So while they wait for the interview, my virtual assistant will then check those references. This should be mostly completed prior to the interview because I'm the one doing the interview. When I transitioned interviews to my service manager, I let her decide the most time efficient order, whether to do the interview first or the references first. But if I was doing the interview, I wanted the candidate to be mostly squared away by the time I take time to talk to them. Reference checks are where most people rush or skip, but the question that you ask totally determines everything. Instead of asking, did they work for you? Ask, would you hire them again? Were they reliable? How did they handle issues? Have you referred them to other people? How did they handle being late or calling out? Ask for examples in these scenarios and then listen for the tone. If someone says, yeah, they were good, that's not a yes. That's a polite no. Reliability is everything because an unreliable cleaner can cancel last minute, show up late, totally disappear and ghost you. And then now you're the ones having to explain that to your client. All right, moving on to phase 4. This is the interview and orientation. By the time someone reaches the interview, they're about 95% qualified if I'm doing the interview as the owner. So here I'm just trying to confirm how they think. Example questions are, what would you do if you showed up and couldn't get into the home? A strong answer, problem solves, contacts clients, checks instructions. A weak answer would be like, I'd wait 15 minutes and then I would probably leave. That gives you a strong indication of how independent they are. If they pass the interview, they'll move on to the orientation. And previously, when I did that live, I would do it the same day. Now we do automated orientation. So after the interview, once they've left, they'll get an email that says, congratulations, we would love to invite you to the next round, which is the online orientation. So they would get a link to the online orientation, which has been pre-recorded in both English and Spanish. They can pick their version. And then after that, they can do a check for understanding questionnaire, which is also available in both languages. And then there's an onboarding checklist for them for certain documents that they'll have to sign and certain paperwork that they'll have to provide. And that all is bundled into a checklist, so it's really easy for them to navigate through. If they don't pass, I'll thank them in person and then I'll send them an email later letting them know we're not moving to the next round. But I will still ask for a referral from them if they know of anyone else who wants to work with our agents. This totally saves me time because from the application to the interview, I've only spent a few minutes total while my virtual assistant handles everything else, along with the systems that are built around the recruitment. This system helps you filter out early, save time, maintain quality, and protect your reputation. Over time, you end up with having better cleaners, which results in better clients and better referral. The key distinction here is that recruiting independent cleaning professionals is not the same as hiring employees. There are totally different expectations. It's a different structure, but if it's done right, it becomes scalable and flexible. If you want a full breakdown of how this business model works and how I run it without being involved day to day, I have a free training linked below. I also break down how to price your service so that you stay competitive, attract top cleaners, and still maintain a strong profit margin. Most people think getting clients is the hard part. It is not. Recruiting is the ultimate hardest part of your business because your cleaners are your business. You are selling access to high, top level, qualified, quality cleaners, right? And in order to have a tangible, meaningful, worthy service that clients are going to pay for, you ultimately have to have the best cleaners on your registry. Do this right, and over time, you'll stop chasing cleaners and start getting referrals from the good ones that you already have because they love working with your agency so much. They benefit from it, they see that it's transparent, and they want their cleaner friends to have the same experience. I'm leaving you today with the best next video to watch and a playlist to consider, and I'll see you in the next one.